before I begin tonight, I just want to acknowledge a few folks that are here. I'm hesitant to do this because I'm always afraid I'm going to leave somebody out, so if I do, please accept my apologies in advance. You all met earlier the Honorable Patricia Dillon, State Representative from the 96th General Assembly District, Darrell Brackeen, Alderman of the 26th Ward, and a former student of mine, and a fellow Fairfield University alum. Where's Darrell? Right there. And Mayor John DeStefano is here. I want to welcome John and his wife Kathy and say thank you for coming. My sister Janet and her husband Bob are over here. My niece Casey. Her sister John, who's very happy to welcome his family. There are, my Aunt Marge Condon is here. My cousins Kathy and Donna, my cousins Regina and Art Fisher, and Betty and Krieger. So thank you all very much for coming. I see folks here from my Hillhouse family and from the St. Aidan's and St. Brendan's family, and the wonderful folks from St. Martin de Porres. There's a few folks from here this evening, so I want to say hi to them. There's people from my Westville family and my Fairfield University family, and to everybody else that's here tonight, I just want to thank you to be here to raise money for such a worthy cause, so I thank you all very much. The real reason that I'm able to be here tonight, however, is because of my loving wife, Michelle. My son Jackson is over there. My part-time daughter, Todd Young, came all the way up from and my main man, Isaiah Kane, who's our traveling companion. And it's really important because they allow me to do the work that I do, and most importantly, they kind of do that work with me. So I'm not doing it alone, we're doing it as a family, and I really appreciate that. They also have the responsibility to kind of keep me grounded. Jackson will often remind me that it is not okay to sing Taylor Swift songs in public or a Kenny Rogers song. The thing is, Jackson, see, tonight is my night. I'll just give you a little of this one. How's this one? We are never, ever, ever back together. A little Kenny Rogers? You like that? Jackson will say to me, I'll say something to Jackson's almost a teenager, and I'll say something to him, and he'll say, everybody knows that. And then I'll say to him, well, do you know that playing cards with Kenny Rogers gets old? Isaiah Kane grounds me by reminding me on these cross-country trips that it is not okay to take a selfie every single time we stop in the car. So Isaiah, this is for you. Nice picture here with all my There we go. I was standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon taking this I was practicing taking selfies on the edge of the Grand Canyon. And my wonderful family I'm saying all these wonderful things about were standing there. And all of a sudden I took my phone out and this woman comes over and says, would you like me to take your picture, in front of the Grand Canyon? And I said, no, I'm practicing selfies. I'm trying to get rid of this. I said, I've got this terrible selfie face. And they scattered like cockroaches. And I said, where did you guys go? And they're like, oh, you were embarrassing us. I was just explaining why I was practicing the selfies. I guess I was taking a lot of them. Listen, Todd Young also grounds me by reminding me that Splenda is not a safe alternative to regular sugar. But I do have this tonight, Todd Shell, and I will be putting that in my tea a little bit later. Todd Shell's a public health person, so we're very proud of her and all she's accomplished. And then, of course, there's Michelle, who reminds me that, this is a great award that I'm getting, and I'm super and all this kind of stuff, but I still have to pick up my socks, and, she said, yeah, you missed your award, you get your name in the paper, you got this award. Can you fluff the freaking pillows? So I promise you, Michelle, that I will work harder on picking up my socks. I thought about bringing a pair of socks back, and fluffing the pillows and making them fun. So it took me a little while to embrace this award. I mentioned to a friend of mine one time that I really don't like getting a lot of attention. And this friend of mine, Les, who some of you know, says, for a guy who doesn't like getting attention, you certainly get an awful lot of it. But the reality is, I like it when my students get attention, I like it when my causes get attention, and if I have to get a little of attention for those things to get attention too, then I guess I'm okay with that. The second reason is that there are so many other people that I think should get this award before me, and many of those people are in this building this evening. Ann Bates, who founded MaryCare, brought Father Emmanuel to New Haven. That's a heck of a story, I'll tell you something. You know, meeting him in Argentina, meeting him in New Haven, reaching out to Bishop Peter Mazzocca and saying, and so, you know, I mean, and Ann's just one person that, you know, but there's so many people here who do so much more than I do. And then the third reason is that part of me knows that I probably wouldn't be getting this award if I didn't have cancer. Now, you know, but then I thought about it, and, you know, I've been involved in running this fundraiser for a long time, and I thought, you know, if I was running this thing, I'd probably give me an award too, right? You know, he's got a lot of friends, he's got cancer, who's not going to buy a $25 ticket for a you know, I'm able to embrace it now, and I'm pretty happy. So I won't take up too much time, but let me just tell you a quick story of how I first got involved with MaryCare. One day after Mass, we were at Coffee Ann, and I was sitting with the girls, as I call them. It was Ann Lozon, Tatiana O'Connor, and Jen Garino. And we were talking about the same thing we talked about every single week, and that was how much we loved Father Emmanuel and how he was increasing our faith life and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I related a story to them that I had heard, that Father Emmanuel's father was a subsistence farmer in Nigeria and sold a piece of land to send him to the West. And I said, I just had this flash. I said, wait a minute, why don't we buy that piece of land back for his father? How much could it be? It was a plane ticket. It wasn't like it was tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why don't we do this? So within moments, Ann goes on and saying, we can do this down at the gallery. Tati says, I know people can do the food. Jen says, I got the entertainment taken care of. So I approached Father Emmanuel and I said, you know, I heard this story. And I said, you know, we want to do something for your family. And he says, you know, my family doesn't need anything, but my village does. And up until recently, they did not have clean water. And there's this organization called MaryCare that's been working in the village, and maybe you could do something for them. So the truth of the matter is, I still to this day do not know if that original story about the piece of land is true or not. And the reality is, I don't want to know if it's true, because I'm Irish, I like to tell stories, and that's one heck of a story. Keep that to yourself, Father. I want to keep telling this story for a long time. But that's the genesis of this. This is how it started. 4 people sitting around having coffee, talking about this one wonderful guy who's done so much for us. You know, we were thinking, this guy has done so much for us, and his family and his village were willing to kind of give him up to come over here and serve us. It was just an amazing experience.
Amen.
So, yeah. So we were trying to figure out when that was. It was sometime in 2008. We had this fundraiser down. Some of you were there in the gallery, Keller Liddell Gallery in Westville Village. The folks at the gallery donated the space. There was a parishioner at St. Aidan's who had been a liquor commissioner, and he calls us up and says, I got free wine for you. And next thing you know, well, wine's very important in fundraisers like this. So drink up and then bid on the sidewalks. And then, you know, Father introduces us to Ann Bates, and so we had no idea how much money we could raise that first time. We thought, Father told us that, I think that the first year was the year we sent kids to high school. Is that what we did the first year? Yeah, and so in Nigeria, the average income is somewhere in the area of $200 or $300 in the US. It costs $100 a year to send a kid to high school, so it's a huge portion of a family's income. So the result is that most kids don't get a high school education in Nigeria. So we said, we were sitting at the coffee shop, and we said, all right, so, you know, let's send 10 kids to college, to high school, and, you know, let's try to raise $2,000 and see what we could do. And, you know, we think doing the number, Ann's a numbers person, right? She's saying, well, if we sell $25 tickets, and this is how we're doing it. Well, the outpouring of support for Father Emmanuel and for his village was overwhelming. And that very first fundraiser, we raised $10,000. And it took everybody by surprise.